Hello again, it's me, Franklin Jones. In this brief video presentation, we're going to talk a little bit more about how the media forms our perception of reality, how it strongly affects our perception of reality. Uh, in this example, I'm going to talk about the 2008 when NASA sent a probe to Mars and sent back footage about the showing the landscape of Mars and the surface of Mars. Before you think I'm going in one area, I know there are many reasons to doubt anything that we hear about space exploration. I also know that there are a group out there who said they have found the area here on Earth that NASA actually filmed and portrayed it to be Mars. They say it was a place out of Canada. That's not the subject of what I'm going to discuss right now. I'm using the Mars landing as an example to convey a different point. Now, the footage of Mars that we saw, that we saw and was played in the media, was about 3 minutes long. It was 3 minutes long, and it showed us a tiny part of the landscape and the surface of what was allegedly to be Mars. Okay. Now, given that, according to the experts, Mars is the half of the size of Earth, just about above half at 53%. Then in no way whatsoever these tiny little images that we saw could quantify or validate us formulating any perceptions about Mars based upon what we saw. But however, that's exactly what happened. People saw those tiny, minute pictures of Mars, and they formulated in their minds, okay, I know how the surface of Mars is. I know the climate. I know things about Mars based upon that tiny little picture we saw. When in reality, we only saw what allegedly the cameraman pointed at. You see, when people see things in the media, it becomes their reality. Most people are lazy thinkers. Most people are not critical thinkers. And so things are programmed into our minds and we say, okay, I know what Mars is about. But that's not true. Nothing we saw quantifies our beliefs, but we allowed it to. In this same setting, our society is also built upon the perceptions and the images that we're seeing in the media right here on Earth. The negative perception of who Black people are in a white society is an illusion created by media programming. And the illusion is so convincing that it even convinces Black people to believe the falsehood. That's how amazing this is. I'm giving you an example. You know, we're watching those shows and we're repeatedly seeing we're seeing Black crimes displayed on these shows. We're seeing whether it's a documentary type style show or one of the ones that do the reenactment or the ones where the actual crime's going on. We're disproportionately seeing Black crimes, and it serves a purpose. Now, a surface thinker will say, well, if Black people wasn't doing the crime, then we wouldn't get it to film. That's a surface thinker. You know, that's the illusion. Most people are lazy thinkers and they follow lazy patterns. But it's a lot more sophisticated than what you realize. Black crimes are being targeted and are being deliberately showcased to create a distorted illusion of Black people. If you were to follow the FBI files on crime in America, every year in terms of raw numbers, there are millions of more crimes created by white people that you're not seeing in the media. That's not being shown on those shows. Every year in America, more white men are killed by white men in raw numbers than the numbers of Blacks that are being killed. But we're not seeing it in the show. We're not seeing those crimes. And these crimes are in the millions when you look at the FBI files. So the question is, why is it we're not seeing those crimes that are being shown? There are producers of those shows where they do the reenactment, and they go into local towns and they go and they find these cases. And there is a deliberate effort where they're grabbing more black cases. So now when we're watching television, we're seeing mostly crimes by blacks. And it creates this illusion that most crimes in America are created by black people. Our perception of reality is a racist media deception. For example, in America, the largest recipient of welfare are white people. The greatest benefactor of affirmative action are white women. But yet there's this illusion that when you think of welfare or affirmative action, the poster child is a black face. We have to realize that we exist within a scripted society, and the script of the society is designed to serve the agenda of the ruling white elites. The ruling white elites' objective is to protect their white dominance. Okay, so now there's a reason why we're vilified. It serves different agendas. Okay, first of all, the vilifying of African American benefits the U.S. government, and here's why. The U.S. government is unrelenting about maintaining their white dominance. That's why during the 60s, that's why throughout America's history, they always put these systems in place, whether it be segregation, Jim Crow laws, black codes, they all had these systems. In the 1960s, those methods became no longer morally acceptable. And it tarnished the America's image. So to continue the mistreatment of black people, they had to do what's called a societal shifting of victimization. By making black people appear more as the criminals in this country, it validates white racism towards blacks. It shows whites as being the victims. Now, when you change the situation where whites are appeared to be the victim, it creates a consensual setting that allows the mistreatment of black people. It's called manufactured consent. So the negative portrayal of black people creates a setting that makes the mistreatment of black people by a white society appear acceptable. It even creates a mindset among black people where they believe that their mistreatment is justifiable. The constant negative portrayal of black people also profoundly demoralizes black people. When a people is constantly demoralized, they become self-loathing, divided, self-hating, and they also become more compliant with white dominance over their lives. But in fact, by continually demoralizing black people, not only are many black people more compliant with white dominance over their life, we in fact prefer it. Many black people prefer white dominance over their lives. This is not some strange coincidence. This is all by design. We have to understand that there are social engineering scientists, and they're continuously working on the mindset of black people. The reason why there exists an immense fear of black retribution that secretly exists among those nations that have benefited through the brutal mistreatment and exploitation of black people, and continues to do it through the exploitation of Africa. So to maintain their dominance, there are systems in place that are designed to affect our perceptions. Divide and conquer, psychological warfare, manufactured consent. We have to realize that our negative perception of our collective state is not a reality. It's not a reality at all. It is an elaborate illusion created by whites. The narratives that our society believes are created by a few white men. They create a narrative and they spread the narratives. And we are functioning, our society functions based upon their narratives. The denigrating of black people also protects the white elite from the poor white masses. Because if by making the poor white masses believes that all their problem is directed towards black people, it keeps them from focusing on the white elites who are actually stealing the money out of their pocket, who are overtaxing them. The poor whites believe that most of the welfare is going to blacks, when the majority of welfare is going to whites. The poor whites believe that blacks are getting over on affirmative action, taking jobs from them, when most of the people who get affirmative action are white women. Therefore, the white community benefits from affirmative action. This misinformation, all the misinformation that's being spread, benefits the ruling white elites. We have to wake up and understand how this system works. Thank you. One love.